Well, friends, it's Crazy Cheap Chick. I'm back from the store. I've had to go to the store multiple times this week, but this video is just from today's visit. Altogether this week, I spent $128. I'll explain why. You know, I'm trying to keep it under 100, but that's hard to do. And I'm going to show you what I got. We'll talk a meal plan, and if you stick around to the end, I'm going to tell you a couple of funny stories. I spent $21.80 today at Dillon's, and all I went in for was a bag of $2.79 potatoes. I have 30 pounds of red potatoes in my garage from that produce auction, but they're not great bakers, and I want to have a baked potato tonight for dinner. But I checked the clearance rack, found a few things. I'm going to have this little tiny salad for my lunch, $1.26. Doing pretty good if you can feed yourself for $1.26. And then they had all of this cake and cookie decorating stuff, and I went ahead and bought it. This whipped topping mix was $2.19. Man, that looks good. A chocolate pie sounds pretty good right now. This chocolate frosting with a couple of different decorating tips was $1.06. Same with the white frosting. It was $1.06. And I've never seen this before. Dazzle Dust, edible rose gold glitter dust, $1.15. And some sprinkles, they were $1.53. And they had a ton of this cake drip. I only bought one. Chocolate flavor, 22 cents. But they had probably 100 of these out. And I thought about buying it for my sister-in-law who makes cakes and cookies and sending it to her, but I didn't know if it was something she would ever use, any of this stuff, because they had a lot of it. And I just bought one. I thought with my little grandkids, it would be really fun to get some sugar cookies and let them decorate them with this frosting and these sprinkles. You could decorate them and eat them. That would be a fun Nana activity. And then I got this caramelized onion cheese dip. I love this stuff. $2.92. It's normally like $5.99. And of course, you know, Dillon's loves to give me free cheese. Whenever I have a free coupon, it's almost always cheese. They know me. So I got Baby Swiss this time for free. They had these hair scrunchies half off, so I think they were $2.44. I seem to not be able to hang on to these. And then this was probably my best deal. It's not food, but this was normally $14.99, marked down to $5.38. And so you really have to shop for these seasonal things. You have to think, well, I don't need it right now, but next summer out at the pool, we'll be needing some suntan screen. And so I've already got it for next year. So I went to the store 4 times this week, and this video is just 2 of the trips. The last video was the first 2. But for the whole week, I spent $128. Before I start, I better get that green bean casserole in the oven because I'm supposed to have it up there in about half an hour. Well, today I spent $61.54 at Dillon's. I like to do my major shopping on Fridays because Dillon's has that 4-time fuel points, and that adds up. Let me show you what I got today. I only paid full price for 2 things. These hamburger buns were $1.79, and I think that's regular price. These Extreme Wellness kind of street-sized taco tortillas were $3.79, which is ridiculous. But they're only 60 calories for 2 of them, and they have 14 grams of fiber. I mean, what's an adult supposed to have, like 21, 22 grams a day at minimum? So you get almost half your fiber in a day just by eating 2 of these. Then I've gone back to creamer. This is 64 ounces, and it was $5.49. You had to buy 3 of them, though. These are usually $7.99. And I usually buy cream in this size, which is ½ gallon. And do you know how many ounces a ½ gallon is? Us old gals do. It's 64 ounces. Now, which is bigger? Let's put them side by side. Which of these is bigger? They're actually the same size. This one also has 64 ounces. That's how packaging can sometimes fool you. You really have to pay attention to the ounces. And if you don't know how many ounces are in a half gallon, you have to Google it. Because if I just looked at these two, I would probably think this one was bigger, but it's not. They're the same size. Anyway, I got 3 of these for $5.49. They don't expire until way next year, sometime in 2025. The longer the expiration date, the less healthy it is. But it's only 10 calories a serving. They consider that a tablespoon. I probably put 4 tablespoons in my cup of coffee, though. And they had milk on sale, so I went ahead and bought 1 thing of milk for $1.49 since I didn't buy actual cream that I could water down. I had cheese on sale, 3 for $6. That makes it $2 a package. I was a little bit low on cheese, so I went ahead and got 3 packages of cheese. They had this honey ham on sale for $4, so I got 2 packages of it. This Ben's Original Ready Rice was $1.49 a package. You could get up to 5. And it's way, 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 way less expensive to cook your own rice. But sometimes you just have to be real. Am I going to take 20 minutes and make my own rice? Or am I more likely to stick this in the microwave for 90 seconds? And it's not as healthy probably as making your own rice, but it is convenient. And we all work. We're all stressed out. So sometimes we just have to be realistic. Then they had this hand soap for $1.15. This stuff used to go on sale all the time for $1. But now, even on clearance, it's $1.15. I went and looked to see what the regular price was, and they didn't have any in this size. This was 11 fluid ounces. All they had were like 8.5 ounces, and those were $1.25. So it's less expensive and more ounces than the regular dial soap that they have there in the store. So I did go ahead and get 5 of them. They had this pumpkin spice limited edition Kellogg's Corn Flakes for $2.25, and it was normally $4.99. So John Wayne will probably eat that. Then we had some spinach for $1.09. Its best by date is in 2 days, but things are good past the best by date. That's a suggestion. In fact, my experience has been things are usually good for 2 or 3 days beyond that best by date, so we'll get our $1.09 out of that spinach. I don't buy a lot of paper products because I consider it a waste of money, but they did have this 4-pack of Kleenex for $4.37 that had been $7.49. And I actually have some Kleenexes here because I do keep Kleenexes for company, because if you hand company a handkerchief, they don't know what to do with it. So now I've got plenty of Kleenex to make it through a year. And also, not only for company, but let's be honest, if you've got a bad cold or you're sick, you don't want to use a handkerchief usually. When you're really sick, you want a Kleenex. Then I did find some of my beloved pomegranates for $1.80. And no, the Pomegranate Council has still not called me, offering me a sponsorship as much as I push pomegranates and love them. I don't understand that. Then they had on clearance these black beans for $1.29. They're normally $2.19. Beans last forever. I think they're considered like one of those 30-year foods that never go bad. And I'm going to use my new sealer and seal these up so they're not exposed to air in any way, which probably make them last longer. Now, just because something's a 30-year food and still edible, I'll bet it doesn't taste very good after 2 or 3 years. Just keep that in mind. Oh, I forgot to tell you what we're going to have this week. And I've already put some of the food away, but we are going to have hamburgers and some of those potatoes. I've got 30 pounds of potatoes in my garage from that produce auction. And so whether we have diced potatoes or French fries or hash browns or however I choose to make them, we are going to be having some potato sides. So 4 of these buns will go for hamburgers and 4 will go for a hot ham and cheese sandwich with potatoes. I know since I'm trying to clean out my freezer that I've got some pork chops in there. So I was thinking pork chops and rice. And these are going to be for like a pork taco, pork carnita taco because I've got some pork in the freezer that I want to use up as well. I have already bought bread this week, and I've got some bacon, and I still have lettuce and tomatoes. So I think that I will have some BLTs with some sort of side. Well, guys, thanks for sticking around all the way to the end. Now, before I tell you the funny stories, I do have some additional information to share with you. Whenever I find out about freebies, I like to pass those along. And I have heard that the government is going to start giving each address 4 free COVID tests starting sometime towards the end of September. And I'm going to put the web address down here where you can order those if you want them. But I do know that a couple of weeks ago, or a month ago, my mom and I got exposed. We were around a friend of ours, and the very next day she tested positive, and I had to go buy us COVID tests because neither one of us was feeling very well, and we're like, oh, we probably got the vid. And I went and bought the tests, and it was about $20 for just 2 of them. And so you might as well get your free ones. I've had just a ton going on this week. It's been a very busy week. Last Friday, John Wayne and I went to the Kansas State Fair. Now, when I was growing up, my grandparents took me and my sister to the State Fair every year. And since I grew up in Northwest Missouri, we usually went to the Iowa State Fair because it was closer to us than the Missouri State Fair. And I always looked forward to seeing this gigantic cow made out of butter. I don't know why, but that was fascinating to me. And so I was hoping the Kansas State Fair would have that, and they did not. I was highly disappointed. But still, we had a really good time at the State Fair. What we're trying to do is to make our life not all about work, but to take a day off here and there and go have some fun. And so that was our fun last week. And then Monday, we took all 7 of our grandkids to a Royals game in Kansas City, and that was a lot of fun. It was expensive though. Those tickets were kind of high, but I tried to make it slightly less expensive by taking some of our food, and I went to Goodwill and tried to find a Royals t-shirt for every kid. And I couldn't find one in the very smallest sizes, but most of the kids ended up with a Royal shirt that cost me about $2.99. At Goodwill, I think I spent less than one shirt would have cost there at the Royals. And it was a good time. I brought in chips and Cracker Jacks and snacks, and then we bought hot dogs there. And the hot dog was like $4 per person, and it was, I thought, man, I wish I hadn't toasted this bun because I don't like the bun all dried out like this. And the next day I was talking about that hot dog and how it wasn't very good. I'm like, if they just hadn't toasted the bun. And he's like, crazy cheap chick, that bun wasn't toasted. And I'm like, oh man, I wish you hadn't told me that. Instead of thinking it was all dried out, I wish I could have just kept thinking it was toasted. So I think end of the season, they're getting rid of some really old buns there at the Royals. But other than that, it was a good game. And it was a late night. The Littles and John Wayne had a really hard time staying awake past 9, but we managed to get everyone home safe. And then on Wednesday, we went to my daughter's house and had a family dinner because my son-in-law's brother, who lives in Bali, was back for a visit, and he doesn't get to come back a lot. So we had a good old Midwestern meal of chili and cinnamon rolls. And if you're not from the Midwest and you've never heard about that, that's the best meal. Chili and cinnamon rolls with carrot sticks and celery and, you know, a little garnish plate. I mean, that's all you need. And we put, just like every good Midwesterner, we put corn chips and sour cream and cheese and onions on top of the chili, and it was delightful. What I supplied was apple cider margaritas, and they were highly popular. And in fact, they were so popular, and I think it may be because I mismeasured the alcohol and put too much alcohol in, but nonetheless, They were really good, and they were so good, I'm going to give you the recipe. It was 1.5 cups tequila, 3/4 cup orange liqueur, like, you know, triple sec, 3/4 cup lime juice, and 4 cups apple cider, and then you use maple syrup to sweeten it a little bit to your own taste. And like I said, I think I mismeasured the alcohol and it had more alcohol in it than that, but it was really, really good. And I'm not an alcohol drinker. I don't drink very much. I really like my brain, and alcohol is toxic to your brain. So I have maybe 1 drink a month. And then you can make a mixture to put on the rim. You can use equal parts of salt and sugar and a little bit of cinnamon, and then just take your glass, you know, take a lime and put around the edge of the glass, and then go like that in the mixture so you get that salty sugar rim, and it's really good. Now the recipe suggested that you take a cinnamon stick as a garnish and set it on fire. I don't know why. Make it a smoky apple cider margarita. But I looked at cinnamon sticks and they were so expensive that I decided that we could use apple slices instead. So that was fun. And I have a couple of funny stories to tell you. My granddaughter came over to help me one day, and we did some stuff around the house, and we went out to lunch, and she ran some errands with me. And one of the errands was I went and picked up the checks that I had earned from my side hustle selling those dresses. And I'm still doing that because it's so easy. I go to Goodwill every week anyway. On a certain day, a certain color tag is $1.79. So I look through the dresses. If there's any fancy dresses, I buy them for $1.79. And then on the way home, I rip off that tag and drop them off at this wedding gown store that sells a lot of fancy dresses. And they will take those dresses and sometimes put $80 or $100 on them. And then I get half of what they sell it for. So it's pretty high profit. So I might get 40 bucks for a dress I paid $1.79 for. This month I made $119, which wasn't bad. I probably only sold 2 or 3 dresses, and I haven't been finding very many, but I still have quite a few there. So I picked up my checks because I have 2 different stores that I take stuff to. One is the fancy dress store. The other is just an upscale secondhand store. They sell, you know, clothing of all kinds, not just dresses. And so everything I take in, I paid $1.79 for. So it's extremely high profit, especially since I use John Wayne's money to buy these things, and then I keep everything I make. So anyway, me and my granddaughter went and picked up my checks. We went out to lunch, and then we went and picked up my checks. And when we got home, Papa said, so what'd you and Nana do all day? And she's like, well, we went out to lunch, and then we went and picked up Nana's checks, and then we cashed the checks, and then we took all the money to the liquor store, and Nana spent it all on liquor. I told John Wayne, you can't believe a kid. You can't believe that kid. I said, she's got it all wrong. We did go to lunch. We did pick up my checks, but then we went to the liquor store, and then we went to the bank. See, she had the order all wrong. I did not use my money to buy liquor at the liquor store. I used John Wayne's money to buy liquor at the liquor store because my dress money goes in my savings account. And then on the way to the Royals game, this was the funniest story to me. We had 3 of my grandsons in the car with me, and then my son was driving his 2 kids and a couple of the other kids with him. And on the way down to the Royal Stadium, which is called Kauffman Stadium, they always call it the K. We were on our way to the K, and my grandson, about 10 minutes out, he's like, I've really got to go to the bathroom. He's 6. And I'm like, we're almost there. We're almost there. Just hold it. And he's like, I've really got to go. And I'm like, as soon as we get there, I'm taking you to a bathroom. Well, when we get there, we were parked way far out, like 3 miles away, it seemed like, that we had to walk in. And the whole time he's just telling me, I've got to go, I've got to go. And I'm like, I know, honey, I know, sweetheart, we're almost there. As soon as we get in, we're going straight to a bathroom. And he's like, I'm going to explode. And I keep trying to comfort him and reassure him that as soon as we get in the K, we're going to find the bathroom. And we're almost there. And he's like, Nana, do you understand what the word explode means? And I'm like, yeah, I know what it means. And he's like, I don't think you do. It means I'm dead and you're covered in pee. So once he told me that, we walked a little faster because once I really understood what the word explode meant, he's dead and I'm covered in pee, I was highly motivated to get that kid to a bathroom. Anyway, that was my week. I hope you had a great week. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a like. Consider subscribing. That helps me out so much. And I enjoy all of you, and I hope you get a little bit out of these videos. Anyway, have a great week, find some bargains, and I'll talk to you soon.
It's a charity, yeah. You're telling me you're not. It is. I almost wore a blue right picture.
Brush your teeth every night for 2 minutes? Do you brush your teeth every night? Yeah. Because this is a lot of sugar here. Our ball game's too long.